Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois Season 4. So we've been waiting more than a while, quite a while, to get confirmation for even just a rough release date or just a cemented release date as a whole for the fourth and final season of Superman and Lois. Now, we did know that it wasn't coming out for a bit, but weren't sure if it would be pushed back to where it had been teased previously, but over the past day or two, we did get the confirmation as well as a big change for the show. I don't want to say big as in like, oh my god, monumental, but it's, it's a difference compared to what we've had, and that is the day that it will air. So Superman and Lois will move, I think, like airing day for the first time ever, I think, or at least for the first time since season 2. Or like, was it in season 1 it was after the Flash, I think it was Flash then Superman and Lois, or was it something like, I don't know what it was something like that. It was after, I think, maybe one of the other shows. So maybe it was on the same day the entire time, but then from season 1 to season 2 it changed the time. I don't know, but at least from what I know, it's changing days for the first time. Now, I'm not sure if it's a good move. Probably depends on the individual viewer. For me, it might be good. For you, it might be bad. For someone else, they don't really care. Just probably depends what day you prefer to watch the show live. But then we also have some comments from the entertainment president for the CW on this final season of Superman and Lois and, just what to expect from it and what he thinks of it, as well as a really random reference to the Flash, which has people sort of mad and confused as to why the hell he brought it up, so we'll go over that in this video at some point. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on this. Any opinions, let me know, and of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, drop a like, takes 2 seconds. But to start off with, we have the fall release schedule for the CW at the end of this year and I guess start of next year. Now, the biggest disappointment for now for many is there's no exact release date. That's a disappointing thing, but we should assume first week of October, as that is when many fall schedules do begin, especially in the CW. But that will be something that we'll just have to, wait and find out and confirm over the next few months, I guess. But if I was going to make an estimated guess after looking at my calendar, which we all have on our phones. I don't have a physical one, but on my phone, Superman and Lois should hopefully premiere its 4th and final season on the 3rd or 10th of October. One of those 2 days. Now, it could maybe even come out the week earlier or before than those two on September 26th, but I would be expecting like the 3rd or 4th of October. That sounds about right. Most likely the 3rd. But anyway, here is the full schedule for the fall of this year for the CW. This also highlighting the change in air day for Superman and Lois for the final season. So on Monday, I guess we're playing Family Board Night game or something because Trivial Pursuit and Scrabble are going back to back. The CW think this is their first time. Yeah, it says network debut, so they have WWE Next. I think that's how you pronounce it, not NXT, but Next, which I'm not too sure what kind of WWE that is. But anyway, that's 2 hours on a Tuesday, so enjoy that. On Wednesday, you have Sullivan's Crossing and Joan. And then here's the thing, Thursday, Superman and Lois Season 4, and we'll be paired with The Librarians, the next chapter, which I won't be watching. I'll just be watching Superman and Lois Season 4. So it's going to Thursday, has always been on a Tuesday from memory. So that's the big change there. It's not just going one day after, it's going 2 days after than it normally would be on. So I'm surprised. I think maybe this is due to the WWE thing, because don't they do Monday Night Raw? So maybe that's why they put the WWE on Tuesday, and then they had to find somewhere for Superman, and then they thought maybe Thursday is better than Wednesday. I don't know, maybe that was that reasoning. And then Friday is just a bunch of Who's Liners anyway inside the NFL. Then they have Sports Saturday on Saturday, which is like college sports, just depends whether it's basketball or football season, I guess. And then you have Movie Night, which I think they've been doing for a while. I think they were doing Shrek the other night, or the other week, might I say, so I guess there's Movie Night if you want it. Now, I guess the big question around this change is, will Thursdays be weird? I saw that there's a lot of people not liking the Thursdays. Now, for me, I don't really care too much anyway, what day it comes out for the most part, because no other shows are coming out. It's more like, it would have been annoying if there was other shows. Like that was always in the, back in the day when there was all those shows. And I don't know if anyone remembers, but they used to move Arrow around a lot. Arrow got like aired on like almost every single night of the weeknight, potentially, except Friday. I think it was on Monday at one point, and then it was on Thursday at one point as well. So Arrow was all over the place and would change like almost not every season, but it just bounced around a lot. So that's the only time it's ever really annoying. is if there's other shows and you prefer to watch them in a certain way, or they get moved and they're bunched together or whatever it might be. That's the only time it's ever weird. So I don't think Thursdays is going to be too much of an issue, just unless maybe you work Thursday nights, so you don't get to watch it live like you normally would if it was on Tuesday, because maybe you didn't work Tuesday nights, or you got another, a predetermined event that's always on a Thursday or something like that. So that's the only thing that's really difference. For me, it doesn't really matter because it comes out at like 11 a.m. every day, no matter what. It's at 11 a.m., so it doesn't really matter for me too much. But along with the release schedule, we just had a look at and read out. Didn't really go into detail too much outside of Superman Lois, but we had a look at that release schedule. Brad Schwartz, who is that entertainment president of the CW that I referenced at the start of the video, he did do a few interviews at the very least talking about this slate and the future of the CW and its programming. A lot of the interviews were pretty similar, like they asked fairly similar questions, or at least he gave very similar answers, but some interviews didn't contain certain questions like the ones we're going to go over that relate to Superman Lois. So maybe people remove them and put them on other reports. I'm not too sure, but it was sort of funny reading some of the interviews because all the interviewers, like the journalists that were asking him questions, sort of know that the CW is cooked from this point forward, especially if shows like Walker and All American don't keep going. So it's sort of funny them asking questions that they already knew that he's probably going to give a bullshit answer. So it was sort of funny going over those. But anyway, we won't go over any of those. No point. It's just the Superman Lois stuff for this video. And to be honest, it's 2 replies, but it's really only like 1.5 questions, or if that, like 1.25 questions, but it's still definitely worth bringing up. So the first thing that was asked is that they said, how do you think the final season of Superman Lois will be received? And he goes, I've watched 9 of the 10 episodes and they are effing awesome. It is weekly event television. Greg Berlanti and the producers have constructed 10 bangers. They really didn't realize he was going to use the term bangers, but anyway, they really go for it. I've cried twice watching the first 9 episodes and I haven't gotten to the finale yet. It's Emmy worthy. And by the way, you can watch this final season without having watched the previous seasons and still be emotionally invested in what is happening. It's a wonderful 10 episode contained arc. And the follow-up thing was, I'm assuming you've read the finale. And he goes, I have. People are going to be blown away. So he's read the finale but hasn't watched it. I did see something on, I think I saw it on Twitter, but it was like a screen cap of something from Instagram. And Emmanuel Sharikri, who plays Lana on the show, she was present at the like editing session or like the sound mixing session for the finale. So the finale isn't done. So I'm assuming that, Brad Schwartz here, he's seen the first 9 episodes. He'll probably get to watch the finale in maybe this coming week once they finish that edit. So they've almost completely locked the season now. We can assume they've locked 9 of the 10 episodes so far, and the finale will be locked pretty damn soon. But we have to wait, another 5 months roughly, probably, until we get to even start watching with episode 1. But the fact that he says it's weekly event television is really cool. Sort of gives me flashbacks to Arrow, that really, or just all the shows really leading up to Crisis. Like that to me was weekly event television. That's probably the last time, if not only time, that it was like weekly event television, like contained, where it wasn't, I know it's just one show that's left, but it's the only DC show there. But it wasn't like, sometimes you have Flash, which had like event stuff, or even Arrow or whatever it is. But some of the other shows alongside it didn't have that stuff going on, so it wasn't all connected. So it really does give me flashbacks to that road to Crisis, where I felt like almost watching all the shows felt like you were leading up to that big event, which was really, really cool. The only thing that's really, really surprising here, and I saw a lot of people going, what? Was when he goes, what do you say? He goes, you can watch this final season without having watched any of the previous seasons and still be emotionally invested in what is happening. Now, fair enough for I guess the rest of the season after the first episode, but we ended on a cliffhanger last season, so I would assume that it helps probably watching at least to see the carry on from that, unless there's a real big summary thing at the beginning of the season and someone can just jump in. I'm not too sure. I haven't watched it, so I don't necessarily know what he's referring to there. He's watched 9 of the 10 episodes, so he would know more than me, I guess, but I just found that a bit weird, considering we ended on a cliffhanger at the end of last season. Now, a lot of people are now going to be asking, okay, we have this, when's the trailer release date for Superman Lois Season 4, and also an actual release date? I think whenever they probably drop the trailer is probably when we get the release date, but I think we might be waiting maybe until, it wouldn't surprise me if they dropped it around Comic-Con. I think that'd be probably a decent time to do it, but I don't think we're led to believe there's going to be any presence from Superman Lois at Comic-Con this year, at least from what we know, but sometimes they're very late with this. They could just do a solo Superman Lois thing, because back in the day, all the shows within. They do like a big, Warner Brothers TV and the CW sort of thing, like, more specifically Warner Brothers TV. So maybe that stuff will get confirmed later, and then maybe they do a panel there. But I'm not expecting a Comic-Con panel for Superman and Lois, but could be surprised. But even if it's not shown at Comic-Con, I would expect a trailer to come out around that time, and then alongside that, probably an actual release date for when episode 1 comes out. But then this is the bit just to finish off the video where he sort of brings up the Flash, which people were sort of blowing up about. I don't really care too much about what it said because I don't think it's really that big of a thing, but I thought I'd bring it up just for people that might want to know. So when talking about other renewals, in more focus, the original show Wild Cards, when I say, came up, and whether that was going to get renewed because it hadn't been renewed at this point, and they were asking, well, is it? And Brad Schwartz dropped this bar, if you want to call it, that left people confused. You'll probably be hearing more announcements from us very soon. That show, as in Wild Cards, did great. It grew 10% versus what The Flash did in the same spot the year before. So here we are beating shows that everyone's very romantic about. We'd very much like to renew that one. Now, for those that don't understand why it's a bit of a silly quote and a silly comparison, is that The Flash was in its final season, and I don't think any show would grow 10% from its final season premiere to the series finale in its final season on a network like the CW. Maybe another network, but even then 10% would be pretty big. It'd have to be like one of those like long-going shows like Big Bang Theory or something like that back in the day. Well, I say back in the day because I was only like a few years ago when that ended, but you know what I mean. And Wild Cards is in its first season, where it should be hoping to do something like that and grow by that margin by the end of the season, if not more. So I understand why he said it though. He's trying to up the show that is fully his and not something, like Superman, Lois, or Walker, or All American, where he has simply adopted it, if you want to put it, through buying the CW. But maybe a better example and number reference could have been used rather than that. Many people think he was trying to, put down the Flash and shade it as a show. But I just think he was trying to use arguably the network's most popular show over the past decade to hype up his newest show, or one of his newest shows, that people are questioning whether it's going to come back or not. So I don't think it's that big of a thing, but I did see people sort of getting angry about it. But anyway, guys, that's all to talk about in this video. If you enjoyed it, it would be awesome to drop a like on it and show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts on all the stuff we went over in this video. Always curious to hear what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.